I just want you all to know that Alonso and I do not plan to color coordinate ahead of time. We are so in sync after all these years.
It's true.
Also, the chances are good that I'm going to wear a heather gray sweater.
I hadn't really thought about that. I should maybe ixnay that from my portfolio. But
heather gray or oatmeal or camel or black, like one of those 4 colors all the time. And black is one of your favorites too.
You're such a lady of the canyon, even if you don't live in the canyon.
It's coastal grandma chic is what I'm going for. It's a look. So yes, we have news for you. We are thick in award season. The Oscars are only a few weeks away, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. But some things that are precursors to the Oscars took place over the weekend, namely the Directors Guild Awards and the BAFTAs somewhat. But the DGAs are a pretty good predictor of what might happen, at least in the Best Director category at the Academy Awards. So the Daniels won for Everything Everywhere, which really wasn't a surprise to me at this point. I sort of feel like the momentum is so great for them.
I think so, yeah. And I think that's the kind of thing where even if, obviously the DGA voters know exactly how this works, but if you're someone who's only sort of like half entirely sure what a director even does, like you look at that movie and go, oh, okay, that,
they put their stamp on that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, good for them. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. So I can very easily imagine a world in which we'll have the Daniels winning director and Everything Everywhere winning Best Picture. Like, I don't see Tar winning. I don't see Banshees winning. I don't see like a Top Gun upset and then the Daniels win director. So I don't know.
Anything is possible, and especially after the BAFTAs, where Best Picture nominee All Quiet on the Western Front just kind of ran roughshod in a lot of categories.
Yeah, they were the big winner of the night with 7 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Cinematography, and Adapted Screenplay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think. And I can imagine a world in which it wins cinematography. I know they beat my love, Roger Deakins, but like, I think it's so germane to the whole experience of this film is the look of it. And so that makes total sense. Yeah. And then Banshees won Best British Film. It won Screenplay. It won both of the supporting categories for Kerry Condon and Barry Keoghan. So, but Everything Everywhere won nothing there.
Right. And in fact, there was actually a lot of backlash because I don't know if you saw the picture that got taken afterwards, but like there was one person of color in the photo and it was one of the presenters or like the co-host of the show. Like every single winner of the BAFTAs was white this year. Right. And so a lot of people took to Twitter to be like, do better, guys.
Yeah. Cate Blanchett won. Austin Butler won.
Yeah.
I can see Cate Blanchett winning at the Oscars, but perhaps not Austin Butler.
Yeah, it's a toughie. I am the worst prognosticator, but if you guys want to hear us talk about this stuff, we will be having another YouTube live about it before the Oscars happen.
Right. The Tuesday before the Oscars. We're going to we'll put stuff in,
we'll plenty of warnings.
We'll warn you so you can mark your calendars, but yeah, it'll be like noon on a Tuesday before the Oscars and come bring your ballot. And win your Oscar
Do not bet
pool.
Based on my picks. I'm telling you now, you'll be happier.
I already have one friend who has promised to split the Oscar pool pot with me if he wins based on my picks. I'm like, it's kind of like insider trading, isn't it? Are we allowed?
Well, it's not like we're handicapping the LAFCA awards. I mean, the Oscars, none of us get to vote in it, and they're, at their best, they're unpredictable. There's nothing more boring than a year where it's like, we all knew all of these things were going to win. So it's the things that sneak in that no one saw coming that kind of, provides what drama there is to all this.
Oh, also speaking of the BAFTAs, I guess Ariana DeBose is getting all kinds of crap for her big song and dance number about the nominees. And
I missed
memeable.
That.
She's in like this hot pink jumpsuit. It's very memeable. Anyway, the box office for this past weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. No one likes it. Lots of people saw it.
Indeed.
So it made $104 million domestically. It's the biggest opening yet for an Ant-Man movie. It's made $225 million globally. It got a B Cinemascore, which does not sound like it's great, but it's tantamount to mediocre.
Yeah, it's kind of it did open in a ton of IMAX theaters. Like it basically shoved Avatar: The Way of Water out of a lot of the sort of prestige format, Dolby, IMAX, whatever houses. And those are often higher ticket prices. So that certainly helped. And, we did not hate this movie, but critics overall seem to be kind of shrugging at it. So
it's still 47% on the tomato meter, which I think is just really weird. Is it just that there are enough mixed negatives to count as splats?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like so often you're like, oh, this movie's 80%, and then you look at the positive reviews and they're all like, I mean, it's okay, I guess. So these could be negative reviews like, well, it didn't really do it for me, but so who knows?
You could get to 100% on the tomato meter with all 2.5 and 3-star reviews, theoretically.
It's
this
true.
is not an exact science around here.
No, not at all.
Zach Galifianakis is going to star in the live action version of Lilo and Stitch for Disney Plus.
As what?
We don't know. He's neither Lilo nor Stitch.
Okay, I just curious. I mean, great. I always enjoy seeing him. I'm just like, as what exactly?
Maybe he's like a surf instructor on the beach.
Anything, or he's Elvis. Anything is possible. Big week, by the way, for Lilo and Stitch co-director Dean DeBlois, somebody I've known for a long time. He is going to be directing a live-action version of his How to Train Your Dragon for Universal.
That's exciting.
So Disney is not the only one like revamping all of their old cartoons into new live-action movies. Apparently, other folks are hopping on that bandwagon too.
Did you see that the charges against Alec Baldwin have been lowered?
Yes, that I think jail time has been taken off the table as a possibility now. Is that
it's just like it's the lower possibility of jail time, because I think it was under the previous charges, it was a maximum of 5 years. And now I believe it's a maximum of like 18 months. But it's kind of a sloppy thing that happened. They charged him and the armorer under a law that did not yet exist when the Rust shooting happened.
Oh.
It's like they retroactively tried to tack it on to it.
Gotcha.
And it's like, no. You can't do that.
Ex post facto, as I think I learned in 8th grade civics.
I think that is what that actually literally means.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore suffered an aneurysm. He's lived a hard life, Tom Sizemore.
Yes.
And he's 61. He had an aneurysm in his house. He was rushed to a hospital in Los Angeles. Last I saw, I just checked a little bit ago, he's still critical. He is still there. It is not looking good for Tom Sizemore, but he's lived a long life of like a lot of like drugs and substance abuse.
It's been rough, but fingers crossed for him.
And then Richard Belzer died.
Yes.
Were you a fan of his? Did you watch any of the Law and Order incarnations?
Not Law and Order, but I did watch Homicide back in the day, which is where that character was born, where Munch first appeared.
He was great on that.
And I remember him from stand up. So I mean, like, he's actually, I think it's funny. There's probably all these people that just know him as like cop show guy, but he's a very, very funny comedian.
78 years old, sort of legendary in the 80s in the New York comedy scene. The whole scene where all those people like Billy Crystal, Jerry Seinfeld, like name somebody who is a huge comedian. They came up through Catch a Rising Star, and he was a fixture there, and had kind of a hard life. There's a whole weird thing with Hulk Hogan. Do you know about that?
I don't remember this.
Hulk Hogan like choked him out and like on television to show off a stunt and like dropped him to the ground, and like he was seriously injured in this to such an extent that they achieved an out-of-court settlement that allowed Richard Belzer to buy a house in France.
Wow. Okay, then.
And he and his wife moved to France, have a house in France, moved to France, and he died in France. So anyway, there's video of it. It's hard to watch, but like there's video of it out there. A really influential comic in terms of like interacting with the crowd, and like not taking shit. Like people heckled, he would give it right back. And I think things people do a lot now, he did then. So very sad. Richard Belzer at 78.